So I just caught this crazy ass witch, right? She's just yelling at somebody. I don't even know who's actually taking the video camera, but this, you know, I shouldn't even make fun of trailer park people because frankly, she's just a shitty person. She's just ugly, disgusting. You know, her face, her body, her mind, everything about this person is just a crappy person. And then, you know, she got a husband that backs her up. You can watch the video on yourself. Right, look at you see where the Santa Barbara Press Veronica, check it out. Well, okay, maybe I can play it because I just don't know. I don't know if it'll play well because it's the speakers through the speakers and.
You have no regard for our laws. Take off.
Yeah, Mexico has immigration laws. Why don't they even enforce them? You know, really, they can't even enforce their own laws. Instead, they support a violent invasion of the United States.
Because you're there illegally. Can you move away from my camera? You're a little close.
How about that?
You're a little close. Oh, look, you just assaulted him. Excuse me. Excuse me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You keep coming towards me.
Yeah, so that's how psycho and stupid. You're illegal, da da da. Right, but did anybody give anybody permission to be here? I don't think so. My ancestors didn't get any permission to be here. So she's in her face, she's yelling at him, "You're illegal! Shut up! I hate you!" Right? You can tell, you can see the anger in her voice. Basically, it was like, "I just yelled in your face and I disrespected you." And that was, you know, she wants to do more. She wants to do violence, but she's not allowed to, so she has to walk away from the situation. The guy seemed like, I don't know if he was reasonable, but he seemed like you could talk to him. But she's like a total psycho. And you could tell how they're pointing, "Hey, could you not, you know, disrespect me?" "Oh, I don't care. I'll disrespect you. I'll disrespect you as much as you want." And I actually believe like the law is, you know, if the space in front of me that I can reach is me. So if you get into my space, then, you know, is that assault? I think so. The reason why that's the law is because if you know, if you was to stand right up to my face or whatever, I think I'm allowed to hit you. I think I'm allowed to deck you. If you walk right up to my face, boom, you're knocked out, right? And I think that would be okay. I think that would be acceptable because if you get into my space where my arms can reach, that means you could reach me. And I don't like that. Now, you know, there's buses, there's on the subway, things like that. So, I don't know. I guess it's hard to tell if someone's approaching you on the street and they walk right up to your face. Sitting next to somebody, I don't know, it seems to be not as threatening, but you know, people could do something, right? They could just elbow you real fast, knock you in the head. But anyways, this is just sort of the precursor. This is all about fuck racism, right? So fuck racism. Michael Rebar's kicking ass or some shit. This is in Santa Barbara, I think it's California. So that's there's fucking these dumb ass, ignorant ass fucking racists. In a way, that actually sort of makes more sense than the racists here in Kentucky. We got 7-8% black people. Mexican is like 1 or 2% or so. But they talk more about illegal immigration here. Fucking Allison Lundergan Grimes, she went fucking racist. Full on racist, right? Mitch McConnell, that motherfucker's whole campaign was based on, "Are you a nigger lover? Nah, if you're a nigger lover, you need to get on out of here now, boy. Boy." And Allison Lundergan Grimes was like, "I will never vote for amnesty like Mitch did. I never will do that." Why would you not? Like, what the fuck? I mean, seriously, what would amnesty do for, I mean, Kentucky, that's like so far away from the fucking border. Any Mexicans that are here are working on the farms for like fucking $5 an hour and shit. These are jobs that white people aren't doing. So, what the fuck, Allison? You're gonna be racist and shit? And unfortunately, because it's white Kentucky, there is no, you know, what are you supposed to do? Like, I mean, basically, what choices do you have? If you're a liberal or progressive and you actually want to, you know, vote for good people that aren't fucking racist, well, we got two fucking racists, right? The fucking Republican and the Democrat. Well, she did talk about minimum wage, right? And Mitch is a dickhead, so fuck it. So because of that limited choice, because we don't have anywhere else to go to, we're forced to fucking compromise, and that's bullshit. So, yeah, the Democrats are fucking racist too. She's uber American. She's got that grayish skin look from the daily pounding of double quarter pounders. Daily pounding of double quarter pounders. 2-liter soda bottles and smoking generic red. She's #1 Americano. Everything she says is the most influential words in history. She thinks she's so damn smart. Oh, man, people are stupid. So the panel reinstates Bullitt County Fire for dragging the hallway. So I'm doing, this is the symbols for, racist symbols in Kentucky. And I'm going to finish it, but I wanted to mention these 2 things first, okay? Because it's about the school system. It's about education. Frankly, I'm fucking Jean-Jacques Rousseau, you know, on crack. I'm just, you know, when you think about, okay, society's got problems, right? Kentucky has all these issues. There's the high prison rates. There's a lot of dumb behavior. There's child abuse, poverty. There's police brutality. Lots of prisons being made. High pollution. #1 in pollution. #1 in cancer. #1 for obesity. You know, no exercising, no healthy eating. You know, so there's a lot of really like the most horrible statistics in the nation. You know, Kentucky is like, you know, always on the bottom of the barrel. But why is this? You know, and even with the nation, you know, we see that there's these assholes everywhere. So why is the nation so fucking, you know, why are we so imperialist? Why do we not give a shit about homeless? Why are we, you know, what the fuck is going on? Why is there so much weird bullshit? Police brutality. Why does it matter? You could choke a motherfucker. You could kill a motherfucker in New York if you're a cop. Why is that acceptable? New York City, the fucking pinnacle, like that's like America, right? L.A., New York, but hell, in New York you could kill a man. And that's okay. He's got a badge. What do you mean? No. I know murder is wrong usually, but not if, you know, if he's got a badge and the guy's black and, you know, we're at war and kill the kids in Iraq and Yemen and Pakistan, Nicaragua. It don't matter. El Salvador. Who gives a shit, right? This America. We can fucking do as the fuck as we please. And, so why is all this shit happening? Why is there so much fucked up shit? Why is there so much, like, backwards ass sort of, you know, fucked up stuff that's going on? And, you know, there's lots of things. You can say the poverty and you can say culture and shit like that. But ultimately, we have a public school system. The public school system indoctrinates us and teaches us from when we're 5 years old to when we're 18, usually, and it's compulsory. So if you don't go to school, you know, your parents could be thrown in jail. You could be thrown in like juvie or some shit. So it's compulsory. You must go through this brainwashing. And the brainwashing in the public school system, you know, in their minds, they say, well, I taught them how to teach calculus and shit. Well, did you give a shit about the community? Did you give a shit? You know, what did it matter that I learned, you know, my math skills if I had come from a, you know, I'm a rose that came out of cow shit. So what did it matter that I learned, you know, math skills when I wasn't ready? I came out of a bad home, so that means when, you know, I learned calculus, but I'm getting my ass kicked back at the house. I don't really know what the fuck is going on. I don't have my own thoughts and ideas about what I want to do with the world. I don't know myself. I'm not independent. You know, there's this like middle core to me that I feel like I've had to develop over the last 17 years. And so the education system, man, it's the fucking education system. Why we have all the fucking problems is because of the fucking education system. So there's 2 things I want to point out that I've been talking about education for quite some time. But William Glasser's genius too. He said if you was actually get all teachers into a room and just ask them to define what education is, they would all have different definitions. I'm gonna come back to this one first, or the other one. Okay, so basically, children are just little people, right? They're going to become adults. They're going to become independent. So we should practice that independence. So we should practice them making their own decisions, standing up. There should be democratic virtues, democratic practices. So that way they could tolerate different people's opinions. They could debate. They could stand up and say what they believe and then back up what they believe with reasons. And then people can, you know, weigh out the different discussions and then go with, you know, what the majority want. They can include, you know, they can have decision making when it comes to their own curriculum, when it comes to their own, you know, where they want to go in life. And so kids can be leaders today. They can be leaders today. They can be leaders right now if parents gave a shit about them, if people gave a shit about them, but they don't. They like the power. They like the oppression. You're just a nobody kid. Shut your damn mouth. No, that's bullshit. Here we got a 12-year-old Peyton Robertson sees a problem. He's going to fix it. He's got 3 patents. 3 patents. You know, that's incredible. Fucking invention. You can make $1 million. The guy who made the that little white thing in pizza boxes so the pizza boxes don't crush. Fucking genius. He's a fucking genius, right? Made a shit ton of money. The shoelaces the little plastic on the shoelaces so the shoelaces don't fray? Millionaire. So you come up with the idea, the original invention, and you can make a shit ton of fucking money off the royalties. So this he's made something with the sandbag, and he has 3 pending patents. A case to maintain golf balls resting temperature. He wondered why his golf balls didn't bounce as far in cold weather. In cold weather, he was 8 at the time. The second, retractable training wheels were his creative way to help his sister learn to ride their bikes. Now bike manufacturers are calling to buy the idea. When Peyton talks about science's insatiable curiosity about the world around him is evident. He's not into science for science sake. He wants to understand the world and make it better. I see the world as a really dynamic place that I can affect and change, he says in his appearance. Okay, so he's able to have like 3 pending patents, right? So good for him, right? He's fucking kicking ass. I did want to read more about this. There was another guy, Jack Andraka. He found a cheap and inexpensive way of detecting pancreatic cancer. And he was like 16, 17 years old or some shit. I saw the science fair with Obama and all these young geniuses. Just absolute young geniuses. And so these are kids. These are kids who come up with a ineffective, cheap way to see if people have pancreatic cancer. Jack and Draka probably just, saved a shit ton of people's lives. And, and how many people could say they even saved one person's life? He just saved millions of people's lives. Well, I don't know millions, but a shit ton, right? So he found an inexpensive way to figure out if we could detect pancreatic cancer. I mean, that's incredible. So kids can be leaders. They are just as smart cognitively. They're able to put 2 + 2 = 4. In fact, when you're born, you have 15 million synapses. And I don't even know actually about that number specifically. I've been saying that number, but it's like a shit ton of synapses. It's like 15 million. And then when you're 10, it gets pruned down to about a third. So you end up with about 5,000 synapses. And I know I'm not saying this right. I ain't a fucking brain surgeon. Fuck you. But my point being is you have more capacity for potential to stuff knowledge and information in your brain. When you're just beginning, when you're just learning and growing, you have all these, new things that you got to learn and that you got to experience. So your brain is soaking it in. That's why they say you should teach language when people are real young, because they can pick it up like that, like it's nothing. And so our synapses, we got 15,000 synapses. That prunes down to about 5 million. I know these numbers are whatever. 15 million down to 5 million. It prunes down a third. So you have a greater potential to learn stuff when you're a baby versus when you're 10 years old. So we are, especially if you're a child, you're beating the shit out of a fucking genius. And you fucking hate the fucking genius. They are fucking smart as shit. 15,000, you know what I mean? Like, and so for really, it's almost quite the opposite, right? The older you get, the more brain cells that are dead, and so you get dumber, right? Then you get dementia, or then you get, you become an invalid, or you get Ronald Reagan's thing. And then you're just not even a person no more. So, the fact that there's no children's rights in schools, they believe in 100% compliance. That's how to teach like a champion. You tell them they're all fucking nobody. Shut your damn mouths. They're the ones in charge. You're nobody, and you make sure that they do every fucking thing that you think is acceptable or is not acceptable. You don't raise your hand halfway. You raise it all the way up. You don't write in pen. You write in a pencil, number 2, so that way it scratches on the fucking on the paper, and it gives you chills and shit. Not a ballpoint pen. How dare you write with a damn ballpoint pen? And don't chew no fucking gum. And don't go to the bathroom unless you ask for permission. You piss in your pants if I tell you to. I mean, that's just and then we do that up until they're 18. And then when they're 18, it's like, hey, now you get to make all your decisions. Now, go to the military, go fight for wars, go to college, get a job, whatever. You're 18. I don't give a shit, right? I fucking told you about the calculus shit. I don't care about your life. I care about my paycheck. I care about my power. Fuck teachers, man. Fuck education in America. There's no such thing as education because unless you have good parents, the best indication if you're going to succeed or not is whether or not your parents were wealthy. If your parents did well, you'll do well. If your parents were shit, then you'll be shit. That's the best indication. School doesn't elevate you. The social mobility in America is not predicated on whether or not you have public education. Public education is more of an attendance diploma. There's a panel reinstates a Bullitt County teacher. This is in Kentucky, fired for dragging first grader through the hallway. So this is fucking great, right? She drags the fucking first grader through the hallway, gets fired, but then she gets reinstated because she got lawyered up and they have to do like tribunals. You can't just fire a teacher or some shit. And it's not even about the unions. It's just about the fucked up laws. I guess if a tribunal means you have to have like 3 different people in order, you have to have a layman, an administrator, and a teacher or some shit. I don't know. You have to have 3 different people on a panel to decide whether or not you should be allowed to, drag kids through the hallway. And I don't even hear what the fuck he did. I read the whole article. I didn't even hear one thing he did. What was he talking out of turn or something? So she drags him, and then they said, oh, he liked the attention. He thought it was funny. He wasn't injured, so all was well. Yeah, that's fucked up. What if we drug her ass through the fucking hall? Would she enjoy that? No, I mean, it's disrespectful, and what about your dignity, your humanity? It's fucking gone, So, this just happened. This January 19th. She just got reinstated. So, congrats to, let's see, let's find out what her name is. Silas. They don't say anything else. Ashley Silas. So Ashley Silas is sitting there pulling a fucking kid, through the hallway. And that's okay. No big deal. That's fine. Fuck you, kid. I'm going to pull your hand and you're just going to... And she's like looking at her cell phone. She's looking at her cell phone, pulling the kid, not giving a fuck. And this is what she thinks is proper. This is proper, right? Because what? She shits all over her fucking husband and her husband takes it, so she thinks boys are fucking nobody. It's absolute bullshit. We don't have... Shia LaBeouf got raped, and he said something about how there's no rite of passage in America, and he believes that it's because, to send young boys off to war. If you're Jewish, you got, a bar mitzvah. You get to have a big old ceremony. There's a rite of passage. When you're a boy and you become a man. That's a rite of passage. And we don't have that in America. And that's bullshit. I mean, seriously, this is a pussification of America. We're fucking telling our boys that they ain't shit and just what? Just supposed to fucking be obedient to everybody? And then, Beyonce said she wouldn't respect anybody who just was a pushover. So we're supposed to just be disrespected by, the people that we love the most? I don't think so. I think it's bullshit. And it's the education. The education system is totally filled up with 80%, 90% white women. Right? So white women who are privileged, the most privileged in our society, they're on top. They got feminine privilege. They have jobs. They have all the opportunities that any man out here has and then some. They got millions more opportunities. And it's, they'll say, well, the top echelons, and yeah, okay, whatever. But they're getting up there, and eventually, that and I don't hate it. I do hate that if they don't understand equality and that people are just like, well, she has a vagina, so it's okay. No, she has a vagina. She's allowed to drag your kid through the damn hall. Okay, well, let's take a man and let's drag a baby girl. No, she's only a 6-year-old girl. She was disrespectful. Nah, get over here, girl, and then just drag a girl through the hall. Nah, that's okay. I mean, it's a grown-ass man, sitting there dragging a 6-year-old girl. Nah, that's okay. That's acceptable. This is abusive. This is bullshit. Ashley Silas should be fucking fired. No fucking way she should get away with that shit. If he was dragging another kid, what would happen? That's fighting. He would get suspended or some shit, right? But no, if you're a goddamn adult, you're a supposed adult, right? And you're a female, you get away with any goddamn thing you want to get away with, and it's bullshit. So, I don't know. I don't hate it. It just means I got to be a Superman. But eventually, I think the women are going to start fighting over us because, thirsty ass men are the ones that, they think, they can get away with it or whatever. Oh, well, I'm Miss Thing, so I could just, no, Miss Thing. No, a crime is a crime. It doesn't matter, what your gender is. And so, I'm an equalist. I believe in, fairness and if you assault somebody, if you rape somebody, if you kill somebody, if you hit somebody, rob somebody, enslave somebody, I mean, if you do any crime to anybody else, the crime is bullshit, and the person should not stand for it, and they should stand up for themselves. So, unfortunately, that kid, what's he going to do, right? I don't know. What is that kid going to do? Did he get suspended? Did he get in trouble for it? He was fucking humiliated, right? And for what? I didn't even read what the crime was. What did he do that was so bad? That wasn't even mentioned. All right, so 20 minutes into it. All right, so I'm gonna run through these. I'm gonna try to get through this actually as quick as possible. So racist monuments, okay? So let's just see what we got here. We got George Prentice. This is the asshole that started the 1855 Know Nothing riots. He writes all this shit. The Germans are taking over. Fuck the Germans. He was big into Know Nothing, racist Know Nothing parties. This is right before the Civil War. You had the Whig Party. The Democratic Party was real strong, and the Federalists and the Whigs, they kept on figuring out what they want to do. They had the Know Nothing Party, and then eventually the Republican Party comes up during the Civil War with Abraham Lincoln and changes the entire country. There was a third party when it first started out. So before then, it was just one party that was dominating politics. And George Prentice was a know-nothing man. He was a racist piece of shit. He didn't like the Catholics. He didn't like the Germans. He didn't like the Irish. And so he wrote a bunch of fucking inflammatory papers to where eventually they burned down the houses and killed a lot of Germans and shit. And the Germans had like a bunch of newspapers. They had a bunch of industry here. But after, George Prentice's 1855 Know Nothing riots, which was done by the Know Nothing Party, and it was, the Plug Uglies, who's the one who killed Edgar Allan Poe. They, once they attacked the Germans never regained a foothold like they had once had. So the desired effect happened is the same thing as the Mississippi plan. You use violence to stop black people from going to vote at the polls, and it's effective. It works. And it worked, too, for the Germans and for the Irish. So we got George Prentice, right? He's a statue right in front of Louisville's main public library. Him with his fat fucking body with his stupid ass face. On the side it says, oh yeah, by the way, he, caused a bunch of bloodshed and shit. Now, Nathan Bedford Forrest was the founder of the Ku Klux Klan. He has, I don't know really what, he's a Tennessee man. I don't know really what he's got to do with Kentucky, right? Tennessee's pretty fucking close, but the KKK was founded, by Tennessee. And Tennessee killed MLK. And Tennessee had the people that developed the atomic weapons. And Tennessee is just south of Kentucky. Nathan Bedford Forrest was, the founder of the Ku Klux Klan. Before he did that, though, he was a Confederate general. And he killed a lot of people at Fort Pillow. And Henry Watterson, he fought for the Confederate States of America under General Nathan B. Forrest during the American Civil War. So Henry Watterson is the one who founded the Courier-Journal, which is a newspaper today in Louisville. Henry Watterson also has a highway named after him. I-264 is called the Watterson Expressway. Essentially, there's like two concentric circles in Louisville. And actually, this road goes farther on over to here, but it's not pointed out. But right here, right? This red thing, this is Henry Watterson. And then this big-ass road all around here is the Gene Snyder Expressway. So both fucking expressways, major expressways, this is just I-95. And I guess it's just a number, whatever, right? I-264, I-265. But both of these fucking highways are named after racist pieces of shit. And so when you have all this racism, it's just embedded into the culture. Look, it's Jefferson. He's a slave owner. This is George Rogers Clark. He's a fucking genocider of Native Americans. Here's Floyd. He's known for Floyd's defeat. I mean, Jesus Christ. You can't get away from the racist fucking symbolism in Kentucky or in surrounding areas. This is Indiana. And in Clark County, actually, I got something about Clark County here. We have a Clark County, Kentucky. And the last Shawnee village called Skippakithiki was actually found in Clark County, Kentucky. Now, what's fucked up about this is that this is the last Shawnee town. The last town that we know about the Shawnee. Remember, it was just, they pretended like it's a happy hunting ground. No Native Americans were here. Well, what about, Skippakithiki? Indian Oldfields, also called Skippakithiki. There's also Shanoa, and there's Anwahi. These are three major fucking Shawnee towns that we know about that are admitted that, that they existed long enough into the pioneering peoples that, they was able to, document. But I've been able to find 34 different tribes that are actually, that comes out of Kentucky. The main ones, Cherokee, Yuchi, Shawnee, and Chickasaw. But that's, there's more than just those. So the racist symbolism, I-265, the other, interstate that goes all the way around Louisville, is named after Gene Snyder. Well, who is Gene Snyder? Well, he's just a fucking Mitch McConnell. And he was able to get the money for the fucking highway, and he named it after himself. This douchebag right here, right? Hey, look, I'm Gene Snyder. I almost wonder if, did motherfucking Mitch come out of his fucking, I mean, didn't he, like, I thought Mitch worked for some, I don't know. He could have, maybe or not, I don't know. He turned on the guy, Mitch did. But anyways, Gene Snyder is, he voted against the Civil Rights Act, right? Snyder's elected to the House of Representatives based in Louisville. He was one of the few Republicans to vote against the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So Gene Snyder, we have the Gene Snyder Expressway in Louisville. There's the Confederate fucking statue. There's George Prentice, this is a big fat fucking racist anti-German. He's so fucking racist, he's against Germans and Irish and Catholics. And he's sitting right in front of the fucking main public library. So we got Gene Snyder, big ass, the biggest fucking interstate is named after a guy who voted against the Civil Rights Act. That's Martin Luther King. So Martin Luther King, Selma, right? All them people who died in March, this piece of shit goes, nah, niggers need to know their place. They can't eat with the same countertops with us. Muhammad Ali came back after he won the gold in Rome in 1960 and went to eat at a restaurant and was chased by a bunch of fucking racists. Eventually he takes his gold medal and throws it in the fucking Ohio River and says, fuck you. 1960. Gene Snyder didn't give a shit. Fuck Muhammad Ali. I'm white. I'm white and better than all you assholes. I'm a white supremacist, king of the world. So Gene Snyder's a fucking bitch-ass fucking bitch, right? And voted against the Civil Rights Act, but he was able to secure some funds. So now we have a big-ass expressway. We don't say, hey, I mean, I think I-65 actually is Martin Luther King Boulevard. And then a part of the Waterston is Gloria Powers. We were the first black woman, first black person actually elected to Kentucky's, to Frankfort. And then part of it's Shawnee Expressway, but only part of it, just like this, the West End, which is like the black part of town. But the rest of this all here is the Waterston Expressway. That's where the cops killed that one, guy with sickle cell anemia or whatever, that Leon Brackens. On the Waterston Expressway. So big shocker, right? Fucking Waterston Expressway getting fucking... So that's, you got the Waterston Expressway, then you got Gene Snyder. And so these, these are just sort of the racist symbols that we see in Kentucky, and it's all over the place. The counties of Kentucky, there's 120 counties, but the majority of the counties are named after genocidal fucking slave-owning fucking pieces of shit. Every single one of them. George Rogers Clark, the great, genocider of the Northwest. He, his name is what bears the name of that one fucking county. He's supposed to be looked at as a fucking hero. He's not a fucking hero. He's a fucking douchebag. Killed a lot of fucking people. So George Washington is fighting against the British when George Rogers Clark is just killing all the Indians everywhere. Didn't give a shit. Killed all the damn Indians, right? Just said, well, they're terrorists. Those Indians are, they're French or British. They must be allying somebody. Oh, yeah, because you stealing their land. I'm sure they wouldn't fight because of that. I'm sure they're not fighting because you're stealing their fucking land. Which is exactly what's happening. And then you got the war, Kentucky in the War of 1812. Here's the Allen County, Ballard County, Edmondson, Graves, Hart, Hickman, McCracken, Meade County, and Simpson County. All these counties were named after, assholes that died in the fucking War of 1812. What was the point of the War of 1812? That's fucking Henry Clay, fucking war hawk, right? Sitting there declaring war against Britain. What did we win? Not a goddamn thing. Tecumseh was killed and the White House was burned, but nothing was gained from it. It was a truce. Nobody won. And it also lasted for 2 years. So War of 1812, it seems like a shitty fucking name, to be honest with you. It should be the war they killed Tecumseh. Tecumseh's death war. So Tecumseh's death war, they killed a lot of fucking Native Americans. And the reason why they named all these counties after the people that died in the Battle of River Raisin, because you had a bunch of Kentuckians, when the war started, they marched all the way up to Detroit and tried to kill a bunch of Native Americans, but the Native Americans got the jump on them and killed all of them. They trekked all fucking winter all the way up into the fucking snow and shit, and then eventually got up to the top, and they were all fucking killed. So that's embarrassing, right? Could you imagine, being like John Hardin? John Hardin, he was a fucking genociding fucking piece of shit. Eventually, supposedly on a peace emissary. Fucking George Washington was killing motherfuckers, Miami and Shawnee in Ohio. George Washington, genocided all the Iroquois in New York. And didn't leave, scorched earth policy. So he didn't leave any fucking traces of any life whatsoever. Burned the damn crops, burned the fucking houses down, didn't give a fuck. The Pilgrims was doing that scorched earth shit. The Confederates want to try to put that shit on, William Tecumseh Sherman, but that shit has been going on for quite some time. John Hardin, he was, they said he was killed in an ambush as a peace emissary, right? Oh, he was just going there for peace. Bullshit. He's going in there for George Washington to say, hey, you better do as we say or else we'll fucking kill you. And then they killed him. So he's a fucking loser, He's a fucking loser just like all these fucking, War of 1812 guys. These War of 1812 guys, they all got fucking slaughtered and murdered. But because they were somebodies, they were like, people before they fucking left, they got a county named after them. So if you're Meade County, that's like being named after George Custer, right? Custer's Last Stand. He is known for fucking losing. These are all fucking losers. John Allen and I think Bland Ballard might be the only one that lived. But all the rest of these assholes fucking died. And so they're a bunch of fucking losers. And so your county is named after a fucking genocide, a man who wanted to murder Native Americans and did it unsuccessfully. And for no reason. War of 1812? What the fuck did we get out of the War of 1812? I don't know what America got. Nothing, right? In fact, that's what Canada uses as their birth of their nation. That's when Canada became independent and had their own nation. So Canada, declared their independence, and I guess that stopped the American, west northern fucking expansion. They had to go west now. They couldn't fucking go north, right? So it just stopped the imperialism is all it did. But my point is that these are fucking losers. These are fucking losers who, in the War of 1812, the only thing that we got as Kentuckians was a lot of bloodshed and heartbreak. Most of the people that died in the War of 1812 were Kentuckians. Kentuckians supplied 60% of all the casualties. And also give birth to the quote of Andrew Jackson about how he never met a Kentuckian that didn't have a gun, a flask of whiskey, and a deck of cards. But that's because when the Kentuckians went down to New Orleans, they didn't have shit. They didn't have any of that. He was like, what the fuck? I thought every Kentuckian had a gun, a flask of whiskey, and a deck of fucking cards, and you motherfuckers ain't got shit. So the War of 1812 is just fucking bullshit. It's absolute horseshit. There was nothing to be gained from it. It was a bunch of aristocrats saying, yeah, let's declare war on the British. And then the British was like, well, fuck you, we burned down your White House. And then we're like, well, we killed Tecumseh. And it was like, well, Tecumseh's not British. Well, we got to make ourselves feel better somehow. Oh, well, I guess maybe march Andrew Jackson on down to New Orleans and fucking elect him president or something. So, yeah, the names of Kentucky counties are mostly genocidal fucking maniacs or slave-owning pieces of shit. You got Magafin County. Right? Magafin County is named after a fucking asshole. Clay, I want to say that's named after the fucking Henry fucking Clay. Henry Knox, the Secretary of War. I don't know all these. I just, heard them from here and there. But Edmondson, we just heard that was a fucking loser out of the War of 1812. And so, right, I'm working on a list, and I should actually get back to working on it. Girard County is actually fucking badass. He's like one of my favorite fucking governors. Girard. It's fucking awesome. And then I'm also like Lewis County because they have the only Union monument that said that the Union was forever right and everlasting right and amen and shit. But it's the only place south of the Mason-Dixon line where there's a monument dedicated to the soldiers of the Union. Because the South was a bunch of Confederate fucking crybaby assholes. And there's more Confederate flags probably today around here than there was back then. A bunch of crybaby fucking Confederate fucking assholes. And the crybaby Confederate fucking assholes wanted to, their rich fucking plantation aristocracy to be able to maintain slavery. And they were willing to put their fucking lives on the line, in order to defend their fucking racism. That's how racist, that's how deeply embedded racism is in this fucking state. So, Kentucky's just filled with a bunch of illiterate, borderline retarded, racist, child-beating heathens. A bunch of barbaric, inbred guano, backwards culture of ignorance-loving, psychopathic fucking savages. And go through each one of these. Right? You got fucking Clark County, which we just fucking learned. Thomas Jefferson. This is Albert Gallatin. That's all right. Daniel Boone, right? He killed Native Americans, but I'm impartial to Daniel Boone because I hate Henry Clay. Fuck Henry Clay. That's how the South was lost. Daniel Boone come into the woods and like he was a hunter, right? He was a frontiersman. But then you got fucking Henry Clay, and Henry Clay came in. He was an aristocrat, so he turned. Some people say, well, he turned it into civilization. No, he didn't. He brought slaves and a bunch of heartache and shit. Kitten, that's Simon Kitten. Owen, I feel like that's a guy who died in War of 1812 or something. I don't know. This Patrick Henry, I think. I know it's not good examples. These are just the ones that I remember. Estill's defeat. He got killed by the Wyandottes. Andrew Jackson, he was known for the Trail of Tears. So that's most of Kentucky's counties are fucking racist. So the imagery is just absolutely disgusting when it comes to this state. And when you got all this, I just couldn't. As a white guy with a fucking guy with pale skin, a crazy black heart, tsunami. It's my Native American, identity, but from the outside, until I started fucking talking about how racism is bullshit, and everybody can be racist, but I think white people started this shit, so they got to knock it off first. And there's no black people around here. It's 8%, and in a lot of these rural counties, it's like 1 or 2%. There's like no black people to speak of whatsoever. Even Louisville, which is like the chocolate city, is 22% black compared to Cincinnati, which is 50-50. So just having all these symbols, right? Every time you mention Gene Snyder's name, I'm getting on the Snyder Highway, I'm getting on the Watterson Expressway, Breckenridge, Watterson Expressway, Clark County, and then anytime you talk about the Courier Journal, that's established by a motherfucker that fought for the KKK, or for the founder of the Ku Klux Klan. He fought for the Confederates underneath the fucking founder of the Ku Klux Klan. Big fucking shocker that he's a fucking racist bastard himself. And George Prentice. So actually this was a good Louisville racist fucking monuments, or racist symbols. Because, that's there is a statue of Lincoln, but he's like off to the side underneath the tree, right next to the fucking, the library. And so there aren't many monuments. I don't see anything of Hunter S. Thompson. There's Diane Sawyer. She's got her face on one of the buildings. But really a bunch of bland buildings and a big ass tall Confederate fucking phallic symbol. You got George Prentice, you got Henry Watterson, you got Gene Schneider, and you have all these other, just so much racism. You're embedded with all this fucking racist culture. It would be hard to fucking kind of break out of it, or snap out of it, or to recognize it for what it actually is. And that's sad. And when Mitch McConnell can fucking win just because he's a racist piece of shit and uses the Mississippi, or the Nixonian Southern strategy, right, where you don't say anything outright, racist outright. Allison was just racist outright, which was fucked up. That was the low point of her campaign, being a racist piece of shit. And in fact, you have a candidate right now that's running in the Democratic Party who is saying that the Jack Conway is going to lose. I mean, look at the forces of history. The fucking Republicans just fucking had a landslide victory against Allison. Meaning Kentuckians are dumb as shit. They're chickens voting for the fucking Colonel Sanders. And because they're racist, backwards, inbred fucking dumb fucks, they are willing to sacrifice their self-interest in order to feel like they're better than somebody else. Obama's nigger. That's what they fucking said, right here at the place I was working. Obama's nigger. No, he's not. Like, even if you made the argument that, a nigger is a bad black person, he's like one of the best black people out there. He's one of the best people out there. How many of you fucking crackers became president? You know what I mean? Like, how many of you fucking... And he did it when he was like 50 years old. So you would sit there and say he's like one of the best human beings like ever fucking created by God. I don't know if he's that great. I'm 50-50 actually on Obama, but it does tickle me to death that, all these white supremacists who think they're so much fucking better than black people. Guess what? That black motherfucker just fucking, topped you. Did better than any fucking thing you've ever fucking done in your life. So, kiss my ass. You want to fucking hate him because you're a racist, backwards piece of shit? Fuck off. But if you want to sit there and actually talk about his policies, and if you actually have an overarching theory of where you see things and how you look at things, then that makes sense, you know? If you have an overarching theory, then, you know, that's what's up. That's what's up. That means you say, you look at somebody and you have your own moral compass and your own guidance, you're independent, you can make your own fucking choices. And that's exactly where we need to be headed. But, you know, the education system, like, I remember, like, graduating and not knowing what the fuck was going on. It was kind of like, do this, do this, do that, do this, do this, do that, do that, do this, do that. And it's kind of like, all right, now make your life decisions. And it's like, oh, it's okay if you come into college and have you're undeclared. That's fine. And then the second year, you need to declare. Hurry the fuck up and declare something. Fine, fuck it, political science. And so that was, you know, that was the beginning of my adulthood. You know, choosing a fucking, I don't know. I am starting to get older and then feeling a little regretful. If I would have done it differently, I would have done it better, and life shouldn't have been this goddamn difficult. It's like motherfuckers, because they don't truly have your best interest in mind, they don't have your fucking back. They want to fucking push you down and see you fucking fail. You know, instead of giving you the best advice to make sure that you stand up, it's almost like, hey, you got a lot of potential. You could really do great things in this world. Well, fuck you. I hope you turn into nothing. I will oppose you in every way, you son of a bitch. And I feel like actually that type of culture, that type of mentality, it was what I was fucking born with. You know, it's not everybody's got a fucking personal little fucking cult trying to murder you, and then trying to kill your reputation and fucking tell everybody that you're such a fucking shitty person. And so, you know, I'm a rose that came out of cow shit. And so I like myself. I like who I am. I'm feeling stronger these days. I got this fucking flu I can't get over. I am just talking to you like you're my friend, and I appreciate you listening if you follow me this far. But my point is just my own personal life. At no point was my opinion, my independence, my autonomy, my spirit, who I was, ever allowed to shine and show off. Everything that I think about when I was under 18 and under was just a reaction to the oppression. Just a reaction to, you know, and I try to make the best of it. Make jokes, smile, be nice to people. But I remember being picked on. I remember being bullied a lot. I remember not having many friends. I remember studying late at night. I remember doing lots of dumb, stupid fucking chores and lots of dumb, stupid fucking homework. And, you know, what did it get me? The bare rudimentary fucking knowledge of reading, writing, arithmetic. And then once I got past the second grade and I knew that shit, you know, all the rest of it just seemed like it was a bunch of fucking busy work. A bunch of bullshit fucking busy work. It would have been better if they would have just allowed us to go into the school and let us do whatever the fuck we wanted. We would have, you know, eventually figured out that we got to organize ourselves. We got to, you know, care about one another. Then we got to, you know, and I know you're like, oh, that's Lord of the Flies. And yeah, maybe. But my point is sort of Sugata Mitra and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. And, you know, just you can have the adults there, but just they supervise and make sure people ain't fighting and shit, right? So still take that initial concept of you got the building, you got the resources, you're young people. What do you want to study? What do you want to do? How do you want to organize yourself? That's how you start. That's what you're supposed to do. Because they're smart, they're independent, they can figure this shit out themselves. We're not doing democracy. We're oppressing them. You know, the adults have fucking failed. They have the people older than me I fucking hate, you know, or I fucking look down. It's like, this is the society you fucking left me, you fucking assholes, a warlike fucking impoverished fucking backwards, you know, corporate profit rich fucking loving Nazi fascist totalitarian normalizing pieces of shit. Fuck you all. In schools when we should have learned democracy. If we didn't learn our democratic functions and forms in school, where do we learn them? At the workplace when the boss is telling us what to fucking do? You know, in the homes when we're getting the shit kicked out of us from our neighbors, you know, who the fuck is supposed to teach us democracy? And it's not just elections, it's a democracy as a way of life. So just from my own personal experiences, I didn't really start to become me until I left fucking Gallatin County, until I went to Xavier University. That's when I became me. And I just wanted to make friends because I didn't feel like I had any friends, and I didn't like looking like a nerd. I didn't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I tried to fucking cover it up. I tried to do anything and everything just so people didn't fucking think I was a fucking nerd. And so when I went to Xavier, you know, I was loud, I was boisterous, I was obnoxious. I got in a little bit of trouble, and then pretty soon, you know, my reputation there was cemented, and I was forever slim, for the people in Brockman and the Brockman dorms. And so that's the beginning of me. That's the beginning of when I got to fucking live. When I got to run and get the fuck out of the oppression, I got to be me. And then once I got friends or whatever, then I need to fucking get to work, and then I need to figure out what I want to do, and I need to have good conversations and good advice and good, people in my background. But I just never had that. And so really, I'm 33 years old almost right now, just starting to figure this shit out. And I feel good. I feel like I got it. I got it down. I just need to fucking start building my fucking palace brick by brick. Step by step. That's how the longest journey begins with the first step. 1,000-mile journey begins with the first step, and then it's going to take, so many more steps after that. So I'm good now, I feel like, but just to get me to the point where I'm at now, it's like, what the fuck? Jean-Jacques Rousseau, he says, up until the time you're 10 years old, do whatever you want to do, just don't hurt anybody else. So if you let a kid do whatever they want to do, yeah, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to fall down, they're going to spill stuff, but they'll learn. And then you say, well, how are they going to learn like Shakespeare? I don't even know if you'd even say that, to be honest with you, Kentucky. But how are they going to learn the classic? How are they going to learn this or the Constitution or whatever? Well, they'll stumble upon it just like anybody else stumbles upon these things. And then, each generation discovers who they think is the fucking people worthy of study. We're a postmodern generation. We're America. This is fucking America. Are you fucking kidding me? The fact that there's no freedom and no democracy in our schools, what the fuck? And we're brilliant when we're younger. And people say, oh, well, you're just going to let them run around like heathens and shit. No, after 10 years old, right? Once they know who they are, what their ambitions are, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, maybe they really like the dirt. Maybe they really like growing things. Maybe they really like science. Maybe they really like plays and acting. Maybe they really want to get into politics. Maybe they want to read. Maybe they want to write. Maybe they want to, be a sports person, whatever. There's a million fucking things. An engineer, anything. There's a million fucking things that a person could want to do. But how do they find out if that's the shit they want to do? They have to say, hey, maybe I want to do ballet. And then they go do ballet. And then they see if they like it. And if they like it, they keep on doing it. If they don't like it, then they stop. But really, the school, I did some basketball, which I enjoy. But I also played baseball, and I fucking hate baseball. Fucking hate it today. And so, to fit and conform into their fucking ways and to be molded by them when you don't even know where you're at, it's almost like I feel like I had to experience my childhood, as an adult. And now I'm like, okay, I've had a little fun. Now let's grow up and, be a man. And, being a man you can still be fun. Nietzsche, he actually says that men need to relearn the seriousness of when they were a child at play. And so, I've had like some bright moments to my childhood or whatever, but really I think it's a blur to me, and it's when I became, 18 and went to college. That's when I became who I am today. And it's been a fucking ride, man. It's been a fucking journey. But I like myself. I love who I am, and so, thank all you fucking assholes, thank all you criminals and pieces of shit that have like really pushed me to be a bigger and better, stronger person, right? Not badder in like a bad sense. I'm a good man. I have a strong moral core, and that's one thing I really love about myself. I'm a good man. I believe in justice and fairness and equality. I'm a good man, and I really like that about me. And I'm not going to give it up. So my thing about being bad or whatever, it's like I believe in doing. But for a long time I questioned power. I said power was the fucking enemy. And there is some, beautiful idealistic nostalgia that I'll have for that opinion forever. But Nietzsche said, and William Glasser says that power is a normal human desire. And so for me to always question or to not desire power over others, also not have power for myself, to stand up for myself, I think is the very source of all the pain that has ever, been put upon me. And no, if you do, if you politely submit, that is the level of injustice that would be thrusted upon you. So because I have been, obedient, quiet, politely submitting, people have been shitty to me. And instead of me standing up or saying, hey, stop doing that, either I run off or they keep on fucking doing it. And then I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, what? No, you're a bitch and we're supposed to push you around. No, you're not, motherfucker. I don't deserve it. I've been nice to you all the fucking time. Why the fuck would you do that to me? I've never done a fucking thing to you. You only doing it to me because what? I let it happen because I didn't say something for the first fucking couple times you were being a dick, and so now you think you're gonna be a dick for the rest of my fucking life? Fuck you, man. So, the education of Jonathan Masters, right? A quick little synopsis. Actually, I'm glad I did this actually a little quicker. George D. Prentice, Know Nothing, Sue Monday. He created and wrote about a fictional guerrilla, Sue Monday, whose activities he used to taunt the Union military commander of state. Now, he says he created and wrote about a fictional guerrilla, Sue Monday, but I heard about Sue Monday had actually got captured in one of these counties over here. They said that he was the notorious Sue Monday. So George Prentice also helped form the Louisville Journal, and then the Journal became the Courier Journal because Henry Watterson had actually found the Courier. So the Courier Journal is actually a fusion between the two. So, it's founded by one fucking Ku Klux Klan piece of shit. Then you have fucking, Henry Watterson Expressway, the Ku Klux Klan fucking expressway, the Confederate fucking expressway, and then you have George fucking Prentice, who is anti-German, anti-fucking Irish, and Catholic, and one would assume anti-black too. It says he's a fictional guerrilla character created by George D. Prentice, who opposed the heavy-handed military rule of Stephen G. Burbridge in Kentucky. Now that's weird, because I'm going to have to fucking look this shit up, because, look, 20-year-old guerrilla Marcus Jerome Clark wore his hair long and had smooth-faced features. Some thought or alleged that he was Sue Monday, caught by federal soldiers in Meade County. I fucking knew it. March 12, 1865, he was tried in Louisville and hanged a few days later. All along, Prentice vehemently denied that Clark was Monday, but they said that he was. In Meade County, the loser county, right? Fucking Henry Meade or whatever the fucking Meade guy died. He died trying to murder a bunch of Indians, like 12 different tribes in Detroit. Kentucky, why are you trying to murder people in Detroit? Detroit's like bankrupt today. Wouldn't that be fucked up if like all the KSP, Kentucky State Police, and all the National Guard in Kentucky gathered together and we marched up to Detroit wanting to kill people up there? That's what they did in the War of 1812. And they wanted to murder Native Americans. Why? Supposedly they was allied with the French or something. I don't know. Detroit is like, right there in between Canada and America, I think. But it's really fucking far north, right? It's past Ohio. But it makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense. The whole fucking war makes no fucking sense. So Marcus Jerome Clark, he was only 20 years old, but a guerrilla soldier. And he says a character publicized. He was rumored to be Sue Monday. So is he Sue Monday? Is he not? So I guess we can check it out and see if he is. It says his raids seemed to inspire the Louisville Journal stories of the infamous Sue Monday and caused Major General Stephen G. Burbridge, the military governor of Kentucky, substantial embarrassment. Now, Stephen G. Burbridge was known as the fucking Butcher. And I like Stephen Burbridge because of all these goddamn racists. That's why I like Obama so much, because of all these fucking racists. The rest of the country elected Obama. Not Kentucky. Not backwards fucking KKK Kentucky. These backwards ass fucking stupid, illiterate, fucking borderline retarded, racist, child-beaten, heathen, barbaric, inbred, guano, backwards, culture of ignorance, loving, psychopathic fucking savages. No goddamn way. They don't give a shit. So all this fucking, folklore, nostalgia, fucking Confederate monuments and shit. No wonder there's Confederates here. No wonder there's a Ku Klux Klan in Dawson Springs at the hometown of the governor. No fucking wonder. It's all over the fucking place. And are the educators? No, they're not teaching democracy and teaching people to believe in themselves or creating networks and contexts. But they're not taking a heavy fucking hand against the racist fucking bullshit. In fact, there's, in Valley Station High, they're teaching them that the bankers are good and that the Gilded Age was okay. It wasn't that bad. No, it was really fucking bad. It was really fucking bad. And we're seeing a Gilded Age today. But, we're obedient. Bankers fucking raping us. Patriot Act. Surveillance. War. American people will take any fucking thing the government thrust upon them. Hey, you want the Bill of Rights? Ah, fuck your Bill of Rights. Why don't they just say, hey, you're just a fucking slave. Go kiss your boss's ass for the rest of your life and be a stupid bitch. Just love God, listen to your boss, make some money, and that's it. Then go watch your fucking TV and go fucking, you know, go to some, I don't know, go entertain yourself and shit. Don't think politics, don't think democracy, don't talk to each other, don't think about ideas, definitely don't have any scientific advancements, no fucking way. Just you know, be a lifeless fucking nobody. And that's the Prussian model of education. Most of the people are a bunch of fucking Volksgeist or Volks fucking schooling, and they're a bunch of nobodies. And then some people have to be the doctors and, you know, sort of the people that actually could do shit, and then the engineers and shit like that. So the intelligent people who are obedient, you move them up through the ranks. But the rulers and kings and queens, they're allowed to question and talk about anything. The rulers, kings, and queens get to their kids, you know, the 1% kids, the private school kids, they get to question any and all thoughts because they actually need to know what the fuck is going on. You know, they need to, you know, there's all this doubt, you know, you can act like you're fucking certain about shit, but there's, Mark Twain said that education is when you go from cocky ignorance to miserable uncertainty. And that's the big problem, really, is you got a bunch of cocky ass ignorant motherfuckers and then a bunch of miserably uncertain dickholes, you know, all around. So, Confederate guerrilla. I'll check this out a little bit later because I want to read about this and I don't know if he actually is the guy or not. It says on the night of February 2nd, this joint force rode into Lair Station, burned the railroad depot and freight cars. A week later, the guerrillas killed 3 soldiers, took 4 more prisoners, and destroyed the remnants of a wagon train. So really, he was just a fucking terrorist, right? Going around just killing whoever the fuck he wanted to. And then Marcellus Jerome Clark fucking hung, just like all the fucking, you know, black people had been done to the fucking black people after the Civil War had happened. So George D. Prentice, fucking racist piece of shit, proud statue with this fat fucking body. Nathan Bedford Forrest, right, basically the father of the man who founded the Courier Journal. You know, the father of the fucking Ku Klux Klan. Battle of Fort Pillow actually happened during the Civil War. So, while I don't know specifically if Henry Watterson was there, he was fighting under Nathan Bedford Forrest during the Civil War, and Nathan Bedford Forrest had a good old time killing a bunch of black people because they started putting guns into black people's hands. You know, black people started running to the Union Army in mass numbers, and then eventually they said, fuck it, let's, you know, take them as contraband of war. We took them as property, and so now as property, we can put guns in their hands, and then once they fought for their freedom with their own guns, I mean, could you imagine being like Nat Turner, right? Being whipped and enslaved and, you know, bred and raped and all the other fucking bullshit that slaves had to go through. Then all of a sudden, you know, Mr. Lincoln fucking says you're free and then puts a gun in your hand. You run off the fucking plantation, puts a gun in your hand, says go start killing them fucking bastards that was doing you wrong. You're goddamn right I will, fucking A. But Confederates, could you imagine them, right? Probably the same thing they think with Obama. They think that they're better than black people, and now the black person is fucking president. I hope their fucking heads exploded. What? That don't make no sense. This country don't make no sense no more. I thought we was better than everybody, Daddy. Daddy, you told me that white people's better than everybody. And you know, they're not. So now you see black people with guns, and they were so fucking pissed off at seeing that black people being people and having guns and fighting, they was just absolutely killed everybody to the last fucking person. Killed them all, you know, even after they surrendered, just murdered every single motherfucker, dead, bloody, no survivor, no quarter, right? Just like the fucking, Cumberland, you know, Cumberland, the Duke of Cumberland said no quartering. He was, we named the Cumberland River. It used to be the Shawnee River. But we named the Cumberland River after the Duke of Cumberland, who killed a lot of fucking Scots Irishmen. And he killed a lot of them. No quarter, killed them all. Didn't give a fuck. Kings and queens is what the fuck they do, right? The state has all the power. The monarch has all the fucking power. The state has a monopoly on the violence. So what happens when 2 states say, hey, I got the monopoly on the violence? No, I do. No, I do. No, I do. Well, you have a civil fucking war is what happens. So they say it's the saddest fucking thing that ever happened. Let's go check out the legacy. No legacy in popular culture? No. He says one of the most controversial and popular icons of the war, served as the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, but later distanced himself from the organization. Aftermath, casualties of figure are different. 350 killed, 60 wounded, 164 captured. What the fuck? I thought they killed them all. Forrest fell back rapidly, attacked the troops. These troops fought bravely, overpowered. The river was dyed, said Forrest, with the blood of the slaughtered for 200 yards. The approximate loss was upward of 500 killed, but few of the officers escaped, and my loss was about 20 killed. It is hoped that these facts will demonstrate to the northern people that Negro soldiers cannot cope with Southerners. Subsequently, Forrest made a report in which he left out the part which shocks humanity to read. So the Battle of Fort Pillow. This is where Henry Watterson is killing black people willy-nilly. Didn't give a shit. Henry Watterson killing black people willy-nilly. And Louisville named a fucking expressway after him. And we still drive on the Watterson Expressway today, and we read Henry Watterson's newspaper today. And it's corporate owned. Big fucking shocker. Corporate owned fucking Ku Klux Klan newspaper. Let Mitch McConnell get fucking elected. Yeah, sure, they'll cover the event, but they'll also laugh at your Gatewoods. They'll laugh at the fucking, pish posh. That's not a serious candidate. Fucking racist pricks. So I think it's a good theory that Jeff Young is saying about Jack Conway, that Jack Conway ran a shitty fucking campaign with Allison. If they're using conventional wisdom, they're gonna fucking lose to the Republicans, and then the whole state is gonna lose their fucking governor. So the governor's chair is up in the air right now. No. Even the AFL-CIO says they don't even want to fucking debate. Let's just go with Conway and just fucking put him in the fucking governor's chair. Absolutely not. Who the fuck is Conway? I don't like his stance on many fucking things. Yeah, he looks like a nice guy. Got that Sean Hannity all-star type of look or whatever. But if he's going to be running to the right towards the Republicans, then that means we progressives are going to fucking lose. Fuck him. I don't want a Republican. I mean, if he runs to the right, then we get a Republican either way we go. Jack Conway will turn into a fucking Republican. I'd like the Democrat to sit in the governor's chair. A real Democrat, a true Democrat. One who's actually got, some goddamn sense. One who actually cares about working class peoples. Ones who will fucking employ and put Obamacare in. Ones who will make sure Common Core is initiated. These are good fucking ideas. No, yeah, I got my questions with public education. I'm glad that we have universal education. I'm glad that we have that. I'm glad that we have universal health care. I'm glad we have roads and bridges, even though I-75 just fucking fell down. So, fuck you racists in Kentucky. And all you anti-racists, in solidarity. Viva la revolucion.